Hello, welcome back to BSLIVE. Today I just want to talk about 3D eyeball assets. If you're actually needing for like 3D eyeballs to use in maybe in AR, you already can find really good assets like this one from Sketchfab, created by Tom Hodes, and you can actually download it. If you download it, the model is either in DAE Colada or GLTF, and the result is actually quite nice. I'll show it to you. It's under my download, and this is the result. If I converted the GLTF, of course, with the roughness, this base color, metallic roughness, and normal, and it looks kind of alright. It's not perfect in a way that's maybe it's probably USDZ limitations with the reflections and the transparency. So you get this kind of weird rendering. I think it can actually be improved if the texture is tweaked. So currently the texture looks like this. There's the normal, there's the metallic and roughness mixed together, and there's this really nice, actually really nice base color, and with all this what do you call it, the blood part of the eyes. But anyway, stumbled into another eyeballs by Suzan Kim. Okay, this is not the only eyeball. There are heaps of eyeballs already been created, including the ones done by Blender artists. This one available by Suzanne, and it was with the links actually wrong. You can use this link by Iker. All right, so if you go to the Gumroad and you can give donations or just simply assign $0. You want this, put a number, and you're gonna get the file that you can customize. So this is eyeballs by Suzanne. This is the eye preview, and you also get the PSD. So I don't have Photoshop, but I have Photopea, and here you have the, if you open the PSD, you can actually tweak the eye. So things like the eye color, I think you can actually tweak to get the color of eyeball that you want. So this is a really nice eyeball. It's a bit cartoony, but I think probably like a kind of like a Pixar eye. It's probably not 100% Pixar eye, but it's really nice. And you can tweak the pupil, the size, and yeah, so you can file export as PNG and then bring it into Blender. So that's the idea. So this is the eyeball, and this is what I got inside Blender. So this eyeball is already tweaked slightly. Originally, actually I'm applying it into just a sphere UV. Originally, it's looking like that. I just do a projections, but I need to scale the eyeball by half. So I need to remap it. So now it's back in the center. And I'm using mixed RGB, so we can actually have eyeballs with maybe yellow color there. This actual, if only we can kind of tweak the PSD inside Blender, but we can't do that. But you can use some kind of compositing trick, so you can just colorize this part of the eyes because it's already kind of nice like that. So if you look at it, if we actually bake it using cycles after we tweak the UV, what's gonna happen is that it's gonna bake properly, so we don't have like, if you look at the UV here, so it's the UV is looking like that. The eyeball is covering the whole geometry. But if you bake it after you scale it and remap it, you're gonna get something like this. So the UV it's and the eyeball is now correct. So this is what we get. The thing, if I want to export it as USDZ, we actually need to properly tweak the shader so it's correctly conformed to the metallic and the roughness. And if you want to have ambient occlusions and the normal, you also needs to tweak this slightly, but I think it's a good start, right? It's not a perfect eyeballs yet, but if I export it as USDZ, it's gonna look something like this. So like I said, it's not perfect, but then the roughness and metalness is, so there's a bit of shading around that part of the eyes, the beautiful part of the eyes. Of course, if you are actually looking at a better eyeballs, like I said, these kind of details for the reflection and the transparency around the eyes and this part that's kind of like the hollow part of the eyes, of course, and this is kind of more like realistic, but I think this is really good eyeballs. However, I kind of like this more stylistic looking eyeball as well by Suzan Kim. So this is why I end up upload it into website like USDZ share. But so yeah, this eye texture is very useful. The nice thing about USDZ is that once you export it as GLTF and you have this eye texture, if you replace this and then re-export or convert as USDZ, you're gonna get a different eyeball with different color. So that's this is kind of assets that I like to collect as a library for my AR explorations. But yeah, so I think if you want to play around with this customizable eye texture template, it's not actually for zebras. You can use it inside Blender. Feel free to try to download this and maybe make a better eyeballs that's gonna work for USDZ as an asset, because upload it for free. Tom Hodes, thanks for uploading this to Sketchfab, and you download it, and you can actually study it inside Blender if you like. So I got the eyeball here. So somehow here is not so good if you are using Eevee, but if you use cycles and then render it, it looks correct with the transparency and everything. But you can also study the shader. This is how it should probably look with the transparent BSDF and then all the principles and how it should work with the metallic roughness. So I think this is a really good example for shader that should work with Apple USDZ if you actually care about that. Yeah, if you look at the eyeballs again, it's not perfect somehow. Someone definitely needs to have, like I said, it's kind of okay, it's almost perfect, but the transparency and the reflection slightly rendered weirdly. So this has to be fixed from the texture. Or if we go back to here, we can use the eyeball from Suzan Kim. Yeah, I think I'll try to improve this and then kind of make an update. But yeah, that's basically what I want to talk about eyeball. Okay, hopefully this is useful. Really good eyeball assets that can be converted into USDZ and can be shared. And I can help with conversion, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.